In the first reading, if God appeared to us as he appeared to King Solomon and asked you what wishes you want to make, just now before the Mass, I suppose you have gone through it. But the second question that I ask you all, if only one wish you wish to make, only one, which one would you make? That only one wish is something significant and something we really need it. Not out of comfort zone, but for surviving, for happy life and meaningful life. King Solomon didn't ask God for the life of his enemy, for riches, or even for long life. All these are important. Instead, he asked for the gift of wisdom. As a result, King Solomon received the gift of wisdom and became a wise man whose wisdom was go beyond any man. He was wiser than all men, and his fame spread throughout the surrounding nations. That's what we hear in the gospel, in the book of the First King, chapter 4, verses 30 and 31, which is not recorded in the first reading. It's the continuity of that. Likewise, before we make our wishes to God in our prayer, it's always important to ask ourselves, what is the most significant thing that I should ask from God? Especially in this MCO, where many of us living in fear of this virus, of the uncertainties in the future, and of the poor economy situation nowadays. While preparing this homily, this prayer came to me, which I wish to introduce to you. Let's look at the screen. This prayer is a prayer of serenity. In this prayer, we ask God for serenity to accept what we can't change. Indeed, COVID-19 is something at the moment we cannot change. So we ask God for courage and wisdom to live one day at a time, and believing that God will make all things right if I surrender to His will. With this serenity that we ask from God, we can face all things in this challenging moment. While believing in God and putting our trust in Him, it's also important for us to ask God for the gift of wisdom in observing the SOP. SOP is necessary in order for us to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and the people around us. Recently, our COVID-19 cases is on the rise. Many of us are getting more tension, more panicking. Instead of feeling fearful, why not surrender to God whatever that we can't change, whatever that beyond our control? At the same time, we do our best. Let God do the rest. That's why SOP is necessary for what we are fighting now. Is the virus that we cannot see, which spreads very fast. Yet, we can prevent it. We can protect ourselves and our loved ones, and more so, those who are senior in age, who are at a high risk. So, all of us know what is the right thing to do. Social distancing, wearing masks, all this we know, isn't it? Without the wisdom and conviction of why we are doing so, we may be reluctantly doing so until we endanger others. Let's look at this video clip. on the screen. Huh? This fire is burning like the virus, spreading out. If there is no social distancing, this fire will continue to burn right to the end. And we thank God for this person who is wise enough to distance himself in order for the rest of the matches to be on fire. Am I wise enough to be that match in order to avoid this from happening to me as well as my loved ones? That's why social distancing is important. And we know also about wearing masks, the importance of wearing masks. Look at all these 6 things, which are the wrong method that we use. And many of us, do you think that, are you at the fault of it? Wearing is very loose, touch here, touch there, sometimes you put it down, sometimes you put it back, and all this. Are we one of them who is doing so? Face mask is like the shoe. They really protect us from this. Do we know that if we are wearing masks as well as having social distancing, the chances of us being infected of this COVID-19 has been reducing by 95%. The person may not know that he or she may be a carrier, but if we're really protecting ourselves and our loved ones with social distancing and wearing masks, the risk will be reduced by 95%. People may say that wearing masks is hot, uncomfortable. Social distancing is not personal. Is that so? Do we really depend on the face mask or something external to show our love and our care to one another? No. I care for you, even though I have to wear masks, I have to keep a distance. Even though during MCO for the past 3-4 months, we didn't see each other, yet you still can feel the love and care of each other, isn't it? So let this social distancing or face mask deprive us saying that there's no personal touch, there's no caring at all. Caring is truly up to us. How do we show our love with one another? So let's look at the last slide here. What was your wishes? What were your wishes before MCO? Successful career, to earn 1 million, farewell to singlehood, want to have a girlfriend or boyfriend, buy a big house, or change new car. After MCO, everything stopped. I just want to stay alive. MCO to a certain extent help us to really know what is truly matter in our lives. Without all these 5 things or more so, we still can live a very happy life. And more so, all these wishes and many others of yours personally are like in the gospel reading. All these are pearls, beautiful, precious pearls that we need and we desire for. But once we have all these MCO, we truly know that the only pearl that we need is only Kingdom of Heaven. Kingdom of Heaven is where we experience God's presence and His protection. As what we heard in the Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want. If only I know that God has been protecting me, blessed me, and my loved ones all this while, regardless my life, ups and downs, I can surrender to God. That is the only pearls that I ask from God and not any other things. Money come, money go. Girlfriend come, girlfriend go. God remains faithful to us. So, let's pause a moment to truly ask ourselves, what do I want from God? If I can only make one wish, what I want God from Him?